Hornets. Let's hear from Kyrie.
Wrong.
Man, first I was trying to get enough sleep last night, landing at 3 a.m. and then just not going to bed till 6. So I was just trying to ground myself as much as possible today and just prepare for the warm reception from a lot of supporters of the organization, of me, just the journey thus far. So I don't take it for granted what happened tonight. It was historic. I'm grateful that I got a chance to be out there with my brothers and, just leave it all out there. Not the result we wanted. I didn't shoot as well as I wanted. Basically, none of the things I had hoped for going well tonight just didn't happen. And that's just the flow of basketball. And, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, I felt okay. But just the jump shot wasn't falling tonight, and we weren't hitting shots. So not the result we wanted, but, definitely grateful that we were part of history tonight, and I got to do it here.
You played on the biggest stages before, so this didn't compare to a finals. But was there nerves, or how would you describe the feeling as your name is called or you enter the building?
I wish we had a day rest at least, you know what I'm saying? But, playing on a back-to-back against a good Charlotte team, they've been playing well lately. We knew it was going to be a dogfight. So, like I said, not the result we wanted, but we can definitely learn from this, grow from this, and, just taking the moment now that it's done. Now we can move on, now that everybody can move on, especially in the locker room, limited distractions, no fear, and next game will be better.
Kyrie, you said yesterday it was going to be a bit weird going from a road game to a home game after your situation. This was your first back-to-back in roughly 2 months. I know you didn't play 40 minutes last night in Miami. Did you think that impacted your play total today?
Yeah, I think it impacted everybody. Shots that we usually make, plays that we usually make, we just weren't at our standard tonight. And, we take full accountability. I take full accountability. 6 for 22, 40 minutes on a back-to-back. I think I could have made a bigger impact on the game, just taking my time a little bit more and just let the game come to me. But definitely when you're out there and you hear the crowd reaction, you hear everything that's going on, you try not to be a distraction, but it is what it is, and I'm grateful that we can move forward. But, tonight my presence out there was just bigger than the basketball game. It was just representing a lot of individuals that are out there in a similar situation as me. And now that I could play, I think it should be opened up for everybody. So.
Kyrie, Kevin's been really complimentary of the younger generation of basketball players in the league right now. So what do you make of LaMelo and the game that he had and just the player he is?
It seems as though we've watched him grow up in basically the public eye since he was 14. And, here he is with us with a long career ahead of him. So there's definitely an impression that he leaves on us every time we play. And, he knows that in order to earn his respect in this league, he not only has to pay his dues, but he just has to bring it every single time against the best. And I feel like he's been doing that lately. Obviously, he's done it in his short career, but against, the good teams, the great teams in this league, you really want to see him show that poise, show his talent, and see how he makes everybody better. So to be doing it at a young age like that, he falls in line with a lot of the greats that have come before him. And, he's just trailblazing his own path. One thing that you have as a young player, especially when you get drafted high in the order and there are a lot of expectations, you want to leave your legacy early, but you understand it's a long game. So proud of him.
Just because everything, tonight meant, when you start whatever was 0 for 4, 0 for 5, I imagine you can probably be 0 for 8 and think everything's going to be fine. I'll make them eventually. Mm-hmm. Where you're like, oh my God, I got to hit one here. These people are waiting for me to make one.
It's you feel it anyway. You feel the kind of the anticipation. I felt it. My layup going to the rim, in and out. A 3 in and out. My first shot, 3 felt good. But those are just moments that you just try to stay level-headed because I don't want to put too much pressure on myself to start aiming the basketball rather than just playing off instincts. So. Like I said before, I think these are lessons you can learn from, that I can learn from moving forward. But I'm just glad it's done. I played my first home game, and I know the next one will be a lot better.
Kyrie, you guys are tied for 8th now with 7 games to go. Obviously, a lot of where you guys are in the standings has to do with your absence for a few months there too. What do you think of the challenge that now lies ahead with so little time to kind of pull this together and try to obviously first make the playoffs before making a finals run, and also how much have you considered where you guys might have been had you been able to play?
I mean, honestly, there's no time to consider the past. It's not going to do anybody in our locker room or anybody any justice. Thinking about what could have been, the shoulds and the could-haves. We only can control what we can control moving forward. We know where we are in the standings, and we also know how much talent we have in that locker room and what we're capable of doing. So, though this may look like a loss that could have easily been a win column for us, we'll just take our bumps and bruises and move forward. But I think what we've been able to learn thus far is when we limit our distractions, and that includes thinking about the past or thinking about what the future holds. We're not in a good place. I don't think that's a good energy to have or a good mindset. So the mentality we have moving forward is just taking one day at a time, live in the moment, and enjoy it. Because nothing's guaranteed here, not even tomorrow.
Kyrie, now that you played at home and you're back full time, what are you hoping the legacy of your stance will be?
What do you mean?
How do you want people to remember this season of yours and the decision that you made?
I mean, I've made it very clear it was never just about me. I think for my own legacy, that's to be written by all those that I impact and all those that impact me. And it's far bigger than just a basketball game, but when I'm in this locker room, I get a chance to perform with a bunch of guys that are selfless and are sacrificing just as much as I am. It makes it worthwhile. And that's the only thing that I'm really focused on is the now and getting back ready for the next game and just going from there. But the point of this season for me was never to just take a stand. It was really to make sure that I'm standing on what I believe in and freedom. Freedom. I don't think that's a word that gets defined enough in our society about the freedom to make choices. Whether that carries over into nuances of our society that, politicians control or government controls or things people that empower, the powers may be, right, that control. I'm standing for freedom. So that's in all facets of my life. And there's nobody that's enslaving me. There's nobody telling me that what I'm going to do with my life. And that's just the way I am. And if I get tarnished, in terms of my image and people try to slander my name continuously because, those aren't things that I forget. I haven't forgotten anything that anybody said. I don't read everything, but I definitely read some things that put my family's name in a certain position that I believe are unfair. I've been discriminated against. People have said things that have been biased. They've gone against their own morals. And where we live in today, I have such a strong moral code of just being honest, being truthful, following God's guidance, and just living with the results. But in terms of that, that's a selfless. I'm a servant, so I'm comfortable being in that position.
Well, Kyrie continues to answer questions like that as he tries to, as he said, just focus on basketball, in which he's got 7 games left to help impact what could be a move up the Eastern Conference standings and get the Nets out of more of a precarious position.
I thought it was pretty funny when he said basically nothing went the way that I thought it was going to go. He was playing his first game and he wanted to come out and play well offensively. He really couldn't find his shot. But guess what? When you got to the fourth quarter and they needed some offense, instead of settling for long jumpers or contested jumpers, there was one that he had taken with both Isaiah Thomas and also Terry Rozier, 2 former Boston Celtics, were guarding him. Then he started getting a lot more aggressive, was getting in like that mid-range jumper, made 3 straight, including that left-handed drive. He hit the 2 free throws that put them ahead at 106-105, and you're thinking, all right, get a couple of stops. But that was it for the Brooklyn Nets. They couldn't, Caleb Martin, P.J. Washington drove past Andre Drummond. That gave them the lead. And then Caleb Martin hit that I keep calling him Caleb Martin. Cody Martin, for crying out loud. They shouldn't have played Miami last night. Cody Martin hit the big 3, that crazy one off of 1 foot. So despite what Kyrie's saying, I get it. Like, when you look at the box score, you're thinking, I didn't have a great game. But when they needed him, he did provide those 8